everybody. Ella J here on behalf of Bell to Bells. And today I am joined by the descending angel, Lucia Lee. So how are you doing today, Lucia?
I'm good, thank you.
I'm doing pretty good. Obviously this world has been crazy throughout this last year, but for you, how have you managed to stay maybe positive or sane throughout this last year of craziness in the
Oh my
world?
God. It's been a struggle, honestly. Like I've been surrounded by some really good friends and stuff, luckily. Yeah, I've really recently got into a new relationship. My partner's been amazing. But yeah, it has been absolutely crazy.
Now, what have been some of the things, like wrestling aside, that have really brought you some great sources of entertainment? Because we've been literally, as I say, bored
Yeah.
in the house bored. So, what are some of your sources of entertainment or just joy in general?
Oh God. I literally spend like most of my time on like TikTok, watching films, binge watching. I've like seen so many different series. It's insane. I've watched How I Met Your Mother like 10 different times over and over again, honestly. Like I'm just binge watching TV.
You know what? I'm the same way though, and especially with TikTok, like it used to be really bad where I
Yeah.
was up till 4 or 5 in the morning,
Oh my
like
God.
just scrolling. It used to be bad. I've gotten it under wraps, but
Yeah.
definitely the TikTok train has really blown up over the last year and a half, I would
It's
say.
addictive. It's so addictive, like because the videos are so short, you don't realize like how
Mhm.
much time you're actually spending on the app, and then like all of a sudden it's been like 2 hours and you've done nothing. My God.
So what sides of TikTok are you on then?
I get like mostly dog videos because that's just what I'm always liking and always looking for. Like I get a lot of dog grooming videos as well, which is kind of weird because I don't have a dog, but yeah, that's what tends to come up on my For You page.
I'm on a lot of cat TikTok too, and I mean I have cats,
Okay.
but you realize I think after a while it the videos you watch and like it keeps obviously the system and keeps
Yeah.
track of it, so you're in whatever the algorithm is, so it's gonna keep popping
Yeah.
up and popping up. So it's fun though. Now you've also actually gone back to training right now, correct?
Yes. Yes. We went
Yeah.
back like I think it would have been like end of May probably when we started training back, and I'm so happy. Honestly, like I feel like I'm back to normal somewhat anyway. Like the sessions are a lot like shorter and smaller, but it's just so nice to be back in the ring and back to like learning stuff.
Yeah, so how have you been adjusting back to the ring both physically and mentally?
Um, Physically, like I'm back in the gym and I'm just trying to get like as much training in as possible. And I'm just trying to like I'm not I understand that I'm not going to be where I was in like 2019 where I was having like matches every weekend and
Yeah.
training 3 times a week. So I know that I'm not there yet because we've had so long off. So I'm just trying to take it at my own pace really and not like put too much pressure on myself to be back where I was like straight away. Like I know that that's going to take some time.
Yeah, especially too after this last year, it's probably getting really, really sore and catching up on cardio and all of that
Oh
after being
yeah.
away for so long. So do you find yourself still walking around like all sore? Or are you kind of used to it because it's been a few weeks now?
No, like I'm literally sore after every training session. It's taken me so long to adjust, and like I'm really surprised, but we have had like pretty much a year off really.
Yeah.
Like and oh like it's not been like great on my body. It's been quite taxing, but at the same time, like it's definitely worth it because it just feels so good to be back in the ring.
Now, I saw a tweet under your post after you said you're back in the ring and training. Now, are you coming up with a new move or a new finisher? What's is there truth to
Um
that?
Honestly, I'm changing a lot about the way that I wrestle. I've had like a few injuries over lockdown that have been caused by my move set and
Mhm.
different things that I've done in the ring. So I am trying to work on more of a technical style, and I'm trying to work less bumps into my matches so that I'm in less pain. To be honest,
Yeah, so
yeah.
what injuries then? I believe I discussed that with you last year, but what other injuries have you suffered from then?
So I was actually diagnosed with sciatica all down like my right side recently. So like my hip is in quite a lot of pain, my lower back and my knee. I've got damaged cartilage in my knee. I've recently hurt my shoulder, so I'm just a little bit broken at the minute. But I'm trying to just work through it. I'm trying to work a style that's not going to be too impactful on
Mhm.
like my injuries so that I can still get through it. I'm going to be having physio soon to try and like work some of that out, like, and I'm taking a lot more care of my body. Like when I was younger I didn't really care too much. I was just like, oh yeah, I can wrestle, I don't need to stretch, I don't need to cool down after training, and now I'm like, no, I need to stretch or else I'm gonna break basically.
Yeah, you gain that wisdom. Again, you are still in your teens, still very
Yeah.
young. You've been wrestling almost coming up on 3 years now since your first
Yeah.
day of training in September.
Yeah.
So you're definitely learning as you go, and really in any profession. In that regards, though, is there any move or sequence that you were like is completely off of the table for you?
Anything that's too like, I've lost a lot of flexibility over lockdown, so anything that's too like flexible for me. I used to be like really flexible because obviously I've got a dance background, but now like my body's just changing a lot and like I'm not as flexible as I used to be. So I'm trying to work around that and not do moves that are that taxing on my body.
Okay, fair enough. I know
Yeah.
a lot of wrestlers too have either revamped or kind of evolved their
Mm,
in-ring personas as well. Like I've seen people
yeah.
come out like for example, this is just in the States, like Alley Cat is now Alley Catch, and Ava Everett used to be the Ava Taker, and now she's evolved to kind of your favorite icon. So in regards to you, is that
Yeah.
something you've been working on, or what is the status of the Descending Angel?
So like the Descending Angel, I think that's always going to be a part of me because that's just like something that I've taken on from like the very start. But like I am working on a few different things. I'm gonna see what works in front of a crowd. I'm gonna see what people take to and what people don't take to. Like that's why I think Twitter is quite a good tool because you can see what fans interact with and you can see what fans don't necessarily interact with. And I think that it's good market research for what crowds will actually enjoy. So yeah, I've got some different things that I'm going to be trying out at shows and stuff, but nothing like set in stone yet.
Now, I also recently, just to the UK and the scope, your lockdown or restrictions got put on hold again another month. Is there
Yeah.
there's truth to that? So we're looking at like mid-July then, late July.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I again, like, I don't even know if you know if there's gonna be. I know you have some shows coming up at the end of next month. Do you even know if there's even gonna be fans allowed there, or
Ooh.
is it kind of just like a spontaneous go with the flow kind of thing?
So I know the two shows next month. They're going to be at half capacity. So I
Okay.
think that like one of the rooms, I think it's Catch, can hold like 950 people, and they've only been able to sell like 250 tickets. Whereas like if the restrictions would have been removed, we could have sold like 400 tickets. But it's just one of those things, really. Like as long as the shows still go ahead and there are fans in the crowd, like I'm happy. I've like really enjoyed some of the tapings with no fans as well, to be honest. But I understand that that's not really like a viable business model for every promotion. But I've had confirmation that the two shows that I have next month are definitely going to go ahead with half capacity, which I'm happy with.
Okay, that's good. So at least
Yeah.
it's a start. Like you said, you're looking forward to getting back in front of fans and
Yeah.
kind of replaying on the Descending Angel and feeding off of the crowd and with stuff like that. As a wrestler yourself, though, like from your perspective, how important, or maybe you don't realize how important the fans are, like into feeding into your character and
Oh
your
wow. Yeah.
adrenaline and all of that. So now that
Mm.
they've been gone and you've done some tapings without fans, have you kind of realized that fans are like a big part of that too, like your character?
100%. Like I feed off of the crowd like in my matches. I love that like rapport that you can get with the fans and you can see what they're enjoying and what they're not particularly enjoying and you have to switch things up. I like thinking on your feet like that. But I have enjoyed the no fan matches in a way because you can do different things. You can do things that perhaps a crowd wouldn't react as well to, but like you think's quite cool, and then you can get like this different amount of footage, and you can really vary up what you're doing. You can vary up like the structure of your match, I think, a little bit more in no fan matches because you don't have to rely on like the crowd being up and down and stuff. But I'm so excited to have fans back. Like I literally, even if there's like 10 people at a show, I'm literally just gonna be like, yes, people here, there's people watching, they're making noise. Like I'm so excited to see them back.
Yeah, we're happy to be back too. Like I have my first wrestling, well, actually it's the NWA pay-per-view, but that's my first show in literally a year and a
Oh
half. And I am
wow.
so much looking forward to going back and like seeing people and enjoying the wrestling experience live because we miss it just as much
Yeah,
as you guys kind of
can
rely on
imagine.
feeding off of the crowd, you know. Oh my gosh, it's been so long. But as
Yeah.
you kind of slowly reintegrate yourself back into pro wrestling in the ring, what are some of your aspirations or goals going forward?
Ooh. So like my biggest aspiration at the moment is to get on Pro Wrestling Eve. I want to go watch an Eve show for a start, because I was too young before lockdown. So I turned 18 last year and I was like, oh my God, I'm going to go to an Eve show. I'm going to go to an Eve show. That's like first port of call. And then their first show back is the weekend that I'm actually at a festival, which is like broken my heart. But like as soon as they've got a next show, I'm definitely going to be there, and I'm hoping that at some point I can get on one of their shows, because I love Pro Wrestling Eve. I think it's one of the coolest things in the whole UK.
Have to agree. Wrestle Queendom 4 is coming up the same. So it's crazy though, because that's August 27th. And then obviously the next day we have the NWA All Women's pay-per-view. So we're getting a whole weekend basically to women's wrestling, like with the UK and the US. I'm really looking forward to that too. I love Eve as well too. Like I've been watching for 2 years now, and that was really my introduction to like British wrestling essentially.
Same.
And so it's crazy. I think you'd be such a good addition.
I hope so. Like, I remember the first Eve match I watched was I think it was Millie McKenzie versus Toni Storm. I don't remember what show it was on, but I remember watching the match and I was like, it blew my mind. I was like, oh my God, these girls are so cool. And then I just like absolutely fell in love with Millie. I was like, oh my God, she's like my favorite wrestler ever. And ever since then, I've just thought, oh my God, I want to get an Eve so badly.
So let's talk about Millie for a second now. Anyway, obviously your dream match didn't go as planned last year with her. And now she is obviously in NXT UK, now known as Amelia McKenzie. So what are your thoughts on Millie/Amelia being in NXT UK and just their whole women's roster as a whole?
So I spoke, luckily I've had the opportunity to do some training with Millie. Whenever restrictions have allowed for it, I've been able to get in the ring with her and like Lee Hunter, Amari, and they've really taught me a lot over the last like year or so. And I'm really, really happy for her, because more than anything, she deserves this opportunity to be on such an amazing platform. Like she's gonna have so many more eyes on her, and like I'm so happy to see someone that literally like grew up 20 minutes from me. She's like 2 years older than me, getting this like amazing platform, and like she absolutely deserves it. I can't wait to see her like kill it. I can't wait to see her in American NXT. I can't wait to see her on the main roster, because like she can do it. I know that like she's just incredible, and I know that they can put that faith in her and she'll deliver 100%. And yeah, like the entire NXT UK women's roster is incredible. Like her, Aaliyah, Ginny, Nina, they're all incredible girls. It's a really, really cool roster.
Now, Meiko Satomura was also recently crowned the new NXT UK Women's Champion, but the now former champion, KayLee Ray, I think really has cemented herself in WWE history, as now she's the longest reigning women's champion in the modern era and second overall ever, just behind Moolah. So how does it kind of make you feel seeing another female from the UK really thriving on a grand stage like KayLee Ray has and still is in WWE?
It's really like, I think it gives you a lot of motivation, because you can look at these girls and you're like, okay, they've put the work in, they've gotten this platform and they've ran with it, and it's really motivating to me, because it's like, well, if KayLee can do it, if Viper can do it, if Amelia can do it, then so can I. It really gives you like some sort of push, and it makes you think like, yeah, I can do this. I just need to train, I need to work hard, and then the opportunities will come.
Viper is now on Monday Night Raw. Viper, Piper Niven. We don't know exactly if she's going to get a new name, but they didn't refer to her at any name on Raw for some reason. With Eva Marie. So that's what I'm a little confused about. And the names that they've been hinting at could be potential names. I'm like, please no. Like put some respect on Viper/Piper Niven's name.
Literally. Like she's incredible. Like I'm so happy that she's on there. Like I had no idea. I was so confused. Like I saw I think I saw like a YouTube clip, and I was like, hold on, that's Viper. I'm gonna watch this. And I was like, oh, they haven't said her name yet. But it was a bit like confusing to me as well, because obviously the commentators will be aware of NXT UK. So surely they'd know her name. And I was like, okay, so she's probably getting rebranded, but let's see what she gets rebranded as. But either way, like she really deserves the opportunity. She's one of like the pillars of British women's wrestling, in my opinion. So I can't wait to see her succeed.
Definitely, for sure. Obviously, she was in a lot of promotions like Pro Wrestling Eve. We got to see her then,
Mm,
obviously, in NXT UK and now on Monday Night Raw. So, again, I
yes.
don't know. I'm a little bit weary about this rebranding because sometimes I don't trust the booking of the main roster girls. So, fingers crossed they
Yes,
put some respect on her name and they do her well. It's an interesting pairing, her and Eva Marie. I think two completely different people, personas,
definitely.
but we'll
Yeah.
see where they go from here, I guess, right?
Yeah, definitely. Like, I'm not the biggest Eva Marie fan, but I think that Viper's
Yeah.
incredible. So I hope to see both of them succeed, to be honest.
For sure. Again, speaking on British wrestling, I sincerely mean this when I've told you this too. You really are a huge inspiration to me and a lot of other
Thank you.
people, as you really, like, so young, you have been such a powerful voice in British wrestling, especially after the events of last year.
Yeah.
So, where do you think that this courage to kind of stand up and speak out comes from? Because, again, you are still growing up yourself, but you somehow
Yeah.
have the courage to kind of stand up for yourself and others too.
Honestly, like I've always been quite an outspoken person. I've always been quite like, I'm never too scared to say what's on my mind. I'm always very happy to just, say whatever I feel. I think that around the time of speaking out, the people that really like inspired me mostly were like Charlie Evans and Millie, because both of them had really taken like the time to give me warnings about people and say
Mhm.
that they're always there for me if I needed them, because they knew what the business was like. They'd been around a lot longer than me, and both of them had messaged me on different occasions, making sure that I was okay and stuff. And I was like, I see girls doing that. And then I saw obviously girls were putting up their posts, and I was like, right, okay, I'm going to do the same thing. I'm happy to post the things that I've experienced because these other girls are doing it. And I was hoping that it would inspire more girls that saw my posts and thought that they could do that for themselves as well. Yeah, I think that it just, for me, it comes down to caring a little bit more about people's well-being and making sure that no one experiences the same things that I've experienced, more so than upsetting other workers or promoters. Because I couldn't live with myself if I was just like, oh well, what, I'm going to keep quiet because I want to keep this booking, or I want to stay on this person's good side. Realistically, I think it matters so much more to make sure that everyone is safe in wrestling, more so than any show. No show is worth someone else's safety, in my opinion.
What are some of, like, speaking on like mental health and just your own personal well-being, is there certain outlets or like ways you like to take care of your own mental health and your well-being, like if you're ever having an off day or just in general?
I'm not the best at like self-care or anything like that, but I really try and like stay on top of like my eating. I try and like drink as much water as possible. Like I do try and do the things that, pretty much everyone should be doing to look after themselves, because realistically, like, you only get one body and you only get one mind. And if you're not putting good things into it, you're not going to get good things out of it. That's just the way that I see things, and I understand that it's very difficult for some people. I have days where, I don't want to get out of bed, I don't want to eat, I don't really want to do anything. I just want to, just kind of just be there and exist for a little bit, and then I'll carry on with life. But, I think you have to make active changes to try and make yourself feel better, in my opinion.
I completely agree. Again,
Yeah.
everybody, off days are valid. Like we all have
Mm,
them. Like
yeah.
yesterday was a huge one for me, gonna be honest. But again,
Really?
like, yeah, it was a rough day. But again, like, having a good support system, and maybe even if
Mm,
it's just like I went to bed early, like, which I never do, but
nice.
some days you honestly just need that. Like, catching up on
Yeah.
sleep can really like bring you back more refreshed and kind of in a better headspace, especially too with especially not only in wrestling, but just in life in general, there's a lot
100%.
going
Yeah,
on in the world.
definitely. Definitely. Yeah, you have to take that time to take care of yourself first sometimes. Because like you can get really like caught up with like caring for everyone else. Like
Mhm.
if you're quite like an empathetic person, you have a lot of empathy. But you have to look after you before you can look after everyone else. That's what I've like really learned over the past year.
Yeah, especially too in wrestling though, we obviously see more women like Gia Adams,
Yeah.
Aisha Raymond, and a lot of other people now put into more power positions to help safeguard and take care basically of the well-being, and they have a voice in the booking process and the business side of promotion.
Yes.
So what are your thoughts on this kind of little bit of a rise in women holding some power, especially in regards to safeguarding and the well-being and the safety in the British wrestling scene?
You know what, like girls like Gia and Aisha are girls that I can like really look up to and I can trust 100%. Like Gia's absolutely amazing. She was amazing all through speaking out. She's been amazing since. She's a very level-headed person and I think that she's really, really wise, and she's not that old either. I think she's only like 21, 22.
Yeah.
And like I can really look at her and be like, okay, this is someone that's really, really level-headed and really like smart, and she knows what she's doing. And like sometimes I can be a bit fiery and go straight off my temper, but then I look at someone like Gia and she's like, no, she's really like relaxed and stuff, which I really, really look up to, and I think that she's amazing. So I'm happy to see the girl in these positions because the guys have dominated that for so long. But at the same time, I think that more is definitely needed. Like a promotion can't just put like a Gia Adams or an Aisha Raymond in a position of power and be like, we've done enough.
Yeah.
That's fine. I'm like, no, you need to keep working, but that's an amazing start and it really lays a great foundation to make a company a lot safer.
Yeah, there's definitely more work that needs to be done. And I feel like because obviously you have COVID going on too in the mix
Yeah.
and all of this. So I feel like maybe once COVID stuff is lifted more and then they don't have to focus as much on the restrictions with that, then more focus and work can really truly be set on safeguarding and the safety and being like a peaceful and safe environment for pro
Yeah.
wrestlers. Because really at the end of the day, that's really all I want. And I know a lot of other people can agree with me. We just want, obviously, the entertainment, of course. But if you guys aren't safe in the ring,
Yeah.
that
Yeah,
like that's the
thing.
most important thing to us, is that you guys are safe and healthy, because you guys are obviously taking so many risks physically, mentally, and all that. But really, the most important thing to us is definitely safety first,
That's good.
honestly.
Yeah, that's
Like,
good.
yeah,
Yeah.
a lot of work definitely still needs to be done, but like you said, it's a good first step. There's definitely a
Yes.
lot more work that
Yeah.
needs to be done, for sure.
100%. Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
So, I guess, what are some of your hopes then for British wrestling, or perhaps pro wrestling in
Ooh.
general, going forward from here then?
Um, Obviously with not only speaking out, but with the NXT UK obviously has taken quite a lot of main players in the British
Mhm.
wrestling scene. A lot of people have been removed from the business. A lot of people have left the business.
Mhm.
I want to see people that are really like coming up, really get to those like top level positions. Like we've already seen it a little bit with like Progress. They've like got an entire new roster, and lots of new people are getting opportunities and stuff. And I'm really happy to see that. Like someone like Kanji is now Progress Women's Champion, and I think that's amazing. Um, and people like Warren Banks, Jean Money, they're all like on Progress now, and I think that that gives everyone else a little bit of space to step up per se, and everyone can like sort of level themselves up and get to that next level where they want to be in the business. Like a lot of people are signed now, so obviously there's so much more space on shows and indie shows like to get to where you want to be and get to these top level shows. And I think that's really exciting. It's going to be really exciting when everything's back, to see who really wants to take those opportunities.
It's amazing too, like you said, obviously Progress is kind of rebranded
Yeah.
management and all that, and they obviously have a whole new roster in general too,
Yeah.
and they're expanding their women's roster too, which right now Kanji is the new Progress Women's Champion after
Yeah.
Ginny had to unfortunately vacate it. But I think it, like you said, again though, it rings true that it's a good first step. I feel like
Yeah.
once the UK is kind of more free to do stuff, barring
Yeah.
COVID and all that, I feel like then true focus can be put upon like the community in general.
Yeah, I hope so. I really hope to see that. Like they've made really like great first steps, and now let's see like how it changes with fans coming back, and let's see like what's going to be implemented. And I think that like some promotions have taken this and absolutely ran with it. Like my home promotion, Kamikaze, they've done absolutely everything in their power to make sure that we feel safe.
Mhm.
Like there's new safeguarding leads, there's people that you can go to when you need them. There's a whole safeguarding policy that covers absolutely everything. Like there's no loose ends. People have been removed from the training school, people have been removed from the roster. They've done absolutely everything in their power to make everyone feel safe, and I'm so happy that they've done that, because it just makes me feel safe being there, and it makes me want to train, it makes me want to go to the shows, and it's really, really great. I'm so proud of Kamikaze in general.
Good, as they should.
Yeah.
That's a shining example that I think more people in promotions need to follow. Because again, it's not a standard thing, but it should be, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, I digress. Switching gears here though, you also had a new podcast come out this year called the Lucia Lee is Canceled podcast, which is so on brand for you, on the Wrestling Movement Network. So before we get more into that, I need to know more about your name choice for said podcast.
Oh my god. So I just kept hearing that like I'm cancelled, and everyone's like trying to say that, oh yeah, I'm cancelled for being outspoken, I'm cancelled for being really mouthy or whatever, and constantly, you know, putting my opinion across. So I was like, okay, well, I'm going to film my opinion, and I'm going to make sure that I get extra cancelled then if everyone wants to cancel me for that. I only managed to film 2 episodes, and then university just got like completely like stressful, and so I was like, okay, I'm going to get my uni work done for the year, and then I've got like 3 months off. So now I can like film as much as I want to, and I'm going to get some more guests on. I've got some stuff lined up, and I'm really excited to get it filmed and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to that. So no spoiling anything, but just in general, who are some of your dream guests that are on your list that you'd like to see on your show?
I'd love to have Charlie Evans on, because I just think that'd be hilarious. Please. Charlie's great. Me and Lizzie were meant to film an episode, but unfortunately, like, we couldn't get a time where both of us were free. So I'm definitely going to look into that. I'm going to maybe try and get that in person for when we're both working Catch next month. Yeah, I'd love to get like a lot of the Brit Rest girls on. That's like the main thing. I'd love to get Hannah Taylor on, because me and Hannah, like, I love Hannah so much. It'd just be hilarious just to listen to her just talk, because she's the best.
I know, I completely agree. I love that friendship with you and Hannah, and we've talked about that before in the past. It's good that you have something to look forward to now in your off time. You don't have to worry about uni for a couple months. You can kind of relax and do your own thing. Wrestling obviously too, but now you have your own podcast.
Yeah, it's really exciting. It's fun as well, because obviously I love like speaking to people like you and like podcasters, and I was like, oh, you know, I kind of want to do that. It looks kind of fun. So I had like a lot of my close friends on in the first 2 episodes. Now I just want to like kind of extend it and go for people that I'm maybe not that close with, but I'd love to like talk to and just hear them talk about themselves.
You're definitely not shy about speaking. So I think you conform very naturally to the host role and kind of laying out the show. So I think you make an amazing host from the 2 episodes that I've seen.
Thank you.
It fits very naturally for you, I must say.
Thank you. I appreciate that.
Now, lastly, I need an update on something else too. When are you getting sponsored by Lucozade, or as you call it, Luciazade?
Honestly, like, I remember tweeting them, and I've tweeted them so many times, and they tweeted me back and they were like, oh, sorry, we've got no sponsorship opportunities at the moment. And my heart was broken. I was just sat there and I was like drinking apple Lucozade, and I'm like, oh, they don't even want me. They don't want me, and I'm giving them all this promotion. I was heartbroken. I've never felt more betrayed, honestly. But I'll get there. I know that I'll get there at some point. I'm just going to keep on at them until they just give in.
Honestly, it's become such a staple for you that I don't know. Like Lucozade, it's very close. It's right there. Like your Twitter header is literally Lucozade, dude.
Exactly. Like, they should want to sponsor me, but if they don't want to yet, then I'll make them at some point.
You need to start a petition.
Yes, and I'm sure people would sign it as well. Like, eventually, I do want like Lucia's gear that's just like green and has like some bubbles on it, maybe, just to make me look like I'm getting like an apple tattoo next month, a green apple. So I'm gonna be like, Lucozade, come on, like, I'm literally here, I'm ready. Just give me the green light and we're ready.
They need to sponsor your podcast. Even like if they don't sponsor you for wrestling, like they can sponsor your podcast, you know?
Exactly. Yeah, I'm already giving them free advertisement anyway. Yeah.
That's so funny. Besides Lucozade, though, to close out the show, what are some of your other beverages of choice, whether it's coffee, tea, obviously energy drinks, soda pop? I don't know if they call it soda pop in the UK, whatever they call carbonated beverages there, but what are some of your other beverages of choice?
Honestly, like, I don't really drink much like I don't drink much pop. Like I don't drink like Coke or anything like that. If I'm out, I'll probably have like I'm a big fan of like different cocktails. I love Sex on the Beach. I love pina coladas. I'm trying to think what I like. I love Dr. Pepper. I won't have it very often, but I love Dr. Pepper. It tastes really good. Milkshakes. I love banana milkshake. Banana milkshake is the greatest. Like I love flavored milkshakes as well. Anything like Bueno flavored, Oreo flavored. That's just perfect for me. Yeah.
Oreo / cookies and cream is like my favorite ice cream
Sounds
milkshake flavor
amazing.
ever. It's my favorite of all time. So I'm
Yes.
glad we're on the same wavelength there. Okay.
Definitely.
I jive with that. Now, before I let you go, Lucia, can you please tell the listeners where they can find you on all your social medias?
Oh, okay. So I think on Twitter and Instagram, I'm just _Lucia Lee. I'm Lucia Lee on Facebook and Lucia Lee Wrestling on YouTube.
And if people want to purchase 8x10s, they can just DM you, correct?
Yes, yeah, I do everything just through DM. So I've got new merch coming out either this week or next week, depending. New 8x10s being released, and possibly releasing a Patreon soon as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
Exciting things coming, definitely.
Got a lot coming up. It kind of falls in line with your return to officially in the ring. Okay.
Yes.
I see you. Well, thank you so much for joining me today again, Lucia. It's been a huge pleasure.
Thank you so much for having me. This has been great.
And don't forget to follow myself at It's Ella J on Twitter and Bell to Bells for more exclusive interviews like my one with Lucia today. Again, yes. Lucia, thank you so much. Again, you are such a huge inspiration to me and a lot of other people. And you have such a powerful voice in British wrestling. And I can't wait to see where you go from here. You have the whole future ahead of you.
That means a lot so much. Like, thank you. Yeah, that's amazing.